Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? It's proclaimed the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to our Week 17 pick show. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with J Dash. Last pick show of the regular season. I don't even want anybody to tell you my record because I'm not able to get to 500. But Dash, if you want to tell them everybody else's record, that's fine.
Yeah, falling apart last week, huh?
Yeah, it was a brutal week. I had a rough week. Just the whole week was bad last week.
Yeah, even Johnny Parlay just 1-4 last week. I think that was the second time in a row he went 1-4. I still expect him to get back on track, though. He's 51, 31, and 1 still this season. He's 39 and 19 over his last 58 picks and 33 and 15 over the last 9 weeks. So he has to get back on track here soon, I would have to believe. JK47 and Easy both went 3-2 last week. However, Easy does not have a chance to get back to 500 this season. But JK47, he has to go 5-0 and he can get back to 500. I, on the other hand,
He didn't even make 5 picks, so I don't think he's going to go 5.
Oh, yeah, he did not make 5 picks, so he cannot get to 500 either. I have been over 500 all season long. I have not fell under 500, but I had a terrible week last week, and now I am right at 500. So I need to have a winning week this week, or I will end the season under 500.
I'm going 5-0, baby.
Well, you're still 23-20 in your last 43 picks, so you're still picking all right. It was a bad week, but you can get back on track here.
Let's hope so.
Let's start with Johnny Parlay's game here. San Diego at Denver. Denver is -9, and the over-under is 41.5.
I don't understand why it's so big, the line. I know San Diego's not a good team, and Denver's at home. It's not like Denver's blowing people out, though, with Brock Osweiler at quarterback.
Well, the last time they won by more than 9 points was against San Diego a month ago. They went into San Diego and won 17-3, and that's really when San Diego's offense hit its low point on the season. They actually went back-to-back games scoring 3 points. Now, more recently, they've turned it around a little bit. They scored 30 points versus the Dolphins and then went out and scored 20 points versus the Oakland Raiders. Nothing astounding, but they're starting to get back on track a little bit. And you're right, Denver, I mean, they over the last 3 weeks, they just beat Cincinnati 20-17, you remember. That was an overtime game. And then prior to that, they lost to the Raiders and lost to the Steelers. So to expect Denver to go out here and just blow San Diego out, I think that'd be a little bit of a surprise too. So I'm down with the San Diego pick for sure.
I mean, this is usually the time, and I know San Diego's decimated by injury, but this is the time for the San Diego Superchargers, man. This is December football. They always blow at the beginning of the year and then come on strong late at the end of the year and almost make the playoffs, and I know that's not going to happen. But this could be the last game for the San Diego franchise. I mean, they might not even be in San Diego next year. They could be in LA. They could be in St. Louis. God knows what the NFL is actually going to do right now. So I feel like this is a big game just for them personally. This whole team, the whole organization. I wouldn't be shocked to see San Diego come out and eke out a victory in a low-scoring game somehow.
It's possible. Like I said, San Diego's offense started to come back around a little bit. You know, earlier in the season, they were playing very well. They were one of the best passing offenses in
Rivers
football
was on
for a
pace
point.
to set mad yardage records, all kinds of stuff.
And then Keenan Allen went down, and then Malcolm Floyd got hurt. Now, he's still playing, but he is playing injured, so they don't have their full arsenal
Gordon's
right now.
out. Is he still out?
Melvin Gordon, we'll have to see about this week. But, I mean, Danny Woodhead and Donald Brown have actually stepped in and pretty much played to the level that Melvin Gordon did, because Melvin Gordon really hasn't done much this season either. But like I said, over the past 2 weeks, the San Diego offense started to turn it around a little bit. However, that was against the Dolphins and Raiders, like I was saying. The Denver defense is a whole nother beast at this point. Denver's defense is one of the best in football right now. So we'll have to see how San Diego fares against them. But even though San Diego's defense isn't great or anything, I think they can handle Denver's offense to the point to stay in that game.
Osweiler's banged up too.
Yeah, I mean, Osweiler really hasn't been
great
at all. To tell you the truth, if Manning was healthy, I think he'd be back in by now.
You know what? I read an article the other day that said Manning's healthy enough to play, and this wasn't anything official. It's just, somebody in Denver writing it, and that they're still just trying to block Manning out of there. They don't think that they want Osweiler. They want to see what he can do. You know what I mean? They have a chance to see what he can do in these big games, and they don't think that Manning is good enough to take them. You know what I mean? They think Manning right now isn't much better than Osweiler.
I mean, if that's what they believe, that's fine. But, Ian, I know you do want to see what Osweiler can do in big situations, but you also don't want to blow a season because of it.
I agree. I just don't think that Manning has anything left in the tank.
So what are we doing here? We are going spread sweep on San Diego. Johnny Parlay, JK47, easy, all saying San Diego with us, man.
Believe it. Here we go, Chargers.
San Diego.
Go yourself, San Diego.
JK47 is not taking a pick of the week this week, so we'll skip right by him. Easy's pick of the week next. And this is a game I did not want to pick.
You know, leave it to Easy to pick this game.
And he's taking the Jets as well. He's going New York Jets -3 at Buffalo. The over-under is 42.5. As Pittsburgh fans here, we are rooting against the Jets, but Easy doesn't care, and he is actually 5-0 in his last 5 picks of the week.
I'm pretty sure he's taken the Jets as his pick of the week like 13 times this year,
he loves
too.
The Jets.
I swear he just
took him once and lost,
Jets.
and I was done with him.
As long as he doesn't see somebody else take him, he's just like, the Jets! And that's how he makes his pick of the week, because he's losing it.
It's working out for him, though.
I guess. Better not work out this week.
Not if you're a Steeler fan, but look, the New York Jets, they've been playing great football recently. They're on a 5-game win streak. However, they really haven't played many good teams this season. I think they played 3 teams with winning records or something like that, and 2 of them the Patriots. Maybe it's 4 teams. I think it is 4. They played 4 winning teams, and 2 of those are the Patriots. Now, they are on a 5-game winning streak. That includes the Dolphins, Giants, Titans, and Cowboys for their first 4 wins. However, last week they did go out and beat the New England Patriots. It was somewhat of a crazy game, though. It went to overtime. The Patriots could have took the ball and went out and won that game. They decided they wanted to let the Jets win that game instead. So the Jets move on to 5-0, and they have a chance to clinch a playoff berth this week with Ryan Fitzpatrick running at quarterback. It'd be his first playoff appearance. Yep. And their offense is running great right now. I mean, Chris Ivory, he hasn't been as beast as he was earlier in the season, but they brought in Bilal Powell coming back from injury, and he's played great for him, so he's a great option out of the backfield for Fitzpatrick. Then you got the 2 good receivers in Marshall and Decker out there. Their offense is running very well right now, and the defense as well. They got off to a hot start this season, really fell apart for a 4 or 5 week stretch, but now they're back on track as well. And then Buffalo, I mean, they've been off and on all season. They really haven't went either way. They don't have a 3-game win streak or a 3-game losing streak this season. So they're very consistently mediocre this season. But they did go out and beat the Cowboys last week, held them to just 6 points.
The one strength I think Buffalo has against the Jets is the Jets, they may be all right against the run, but they're really going to burn you in the passing game. They got Revis. Cromartie, he's been injured, so I'm not sure if he's playing this week or not. But when you're Tyrod Taylor and you're Carlos Williams and you're Marcus Giuseppe or Gillespie or Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, whatever that dude's name is, they don't need to throw the ball to burn you. Tyrod Taylor, I think there was a game where he completed 13 passes and 8 of them were to Sammy Watkins. I mean, they don't need to burn you through the air. They can run the football. It's a weird version of the option with a quarterback that can sometimes throw good, I guess. So as long as Buffalo can not turn the football over, I don't think the Jets are that much of a better football team. Now, if the Jets get out to a big lead, that's going to be when it will be hard for Buffalo to come back. They're not the type of offense that can, strike fast or come back from big margins. But Buffalo's at home, and I mean, this is a rivalry game, basically. It's a division game. This is a close, that's why the line's only 3. There's no reason Buffalo can't come out and beat the Jets. F the Jets. I don't know who they think they are.
Yeah, the last time these two played, Buffalo did come out with the victory in New York, but it was a close game, like you were saying, and I expect a close game here too, but I'm going to side with Buffalo in this game, actually. But a couple of things to think about is Ryan Fitzpatrick going up against his old team. You always want to go out and beat your old team, and especially when you got a chance to make the playoffs to do so. So I look for Ryan Fitzpatrick to play very well in this game, but let's not forget on the other side too, Rex Ryan wants to beat his old team as well.
I'm going to send Rex Ryan foot fetish videos.
So we have 3 on Buffalo. Johnny Parlay and the 2 of us are saying Buffalo. Easy is going to go with the New York Jets for his pick of the week. Everybody going against him, even though he's won his last 5 picks of the week.
Well, he's a douche. Why the hell would you pick them? this week anyway.
I'm actually picking Buffalo because I believe Buffalo will win, though. Not just because I want them to win for the Steelers. You know what I'm
picking
saying?
Buffalo because I thought the Jets were going to win, and I'm garbage, so I might as well pick the other team.
All right, sounds good. We're going spread sweep on this next game as well, and it's your pick of the week, Jim. You were 6-9-1 in picks of the week this season. Baltimore at Cincinnati, -9.5, and the over-under is 41.5.
I'm not even saying this because of this past week against Pittsburgh, but Baltimore really hasn't been getting blown out. I think Kansas City, Seattle, something like that.
Seattle and Kansas City both blew them out.
Those two teams, but other than that, they've been playing close games all year. I mean, Ryan Mallett at least showed enough last week, a career high in yards, to say that he should be able to throw the football a little bit effectively. It's not like Cincinnati's defense is the most dominant in the league. Yeah, they're a good defense. I'm not saying anything bad about them. But their offense isn't going to be able to control the ball very well, I don't think. Andy Dalton's hurt. A.J. McCarron's going to have to play injured. He's not a great quarterback to begin with. Cincinnati being at home is why I think this line is so big. If they were at Baltimore, it would probably be closer to 5. But I don't see it. I don't see Cincinnati's offense is not as explosive with A.J. McCarron at the helm. I know Tyler Eifert's practicing again, and he may be in there. That's going to help him out a little bit. But I don't see it. And is Jeremy Hill hurt? Because I thought I heard somebody on ESPN the other day say that nothing major, but he was banged up and maybe missed some practice time or something.
I don't see anything here about him being hurt. I do see Tyler Eifert is going to come back and be healthy for this game, though. So that's a good sign for the Cincinnati Bengals. These two teams did play earlier in the season, and Cincinnati did come up with the victory. But it was a close game. They only beat them by 4 points. It was a different point in the season, early in the season. Both quarterbacks were healthy, obviously. So it's a much different game. But with Cincinnati not having their starting quarterback, I don't care who's the starting quarterback for Baltimore, I really don't see Cincinnati coming out and blowing teams out. I know Baltimore's a terrible team, but they did go out and beat Pittsburgh last week, but it really has nothing to do with that. Jim said it before, that the Baltimore Ravens really haven't got blown out this season up until these past couple weeks versus very good teams, the Seattle Seahawks and the Kansas City Chiefs, probably the two hottest teams in football right now. So I'll wipe them games out, and I just look at the other games, and they really don't lose big games. So 9.5 points, I'm all over that all day. And we're going spread sweep here with Baltimore.
It's hard enough for a team to win a game with a backup quarterback, and now I know both teams do technically have backup quarterbacks, with Ryan Mallett being fourth string or whatever. But I don't see a team covering a 9.5 point spread with a backup quarterback. I don't care if the other team also has one.
To be fair, A.J. McCarron did go out and beat the San Francisco 49ers by 10 points. But that is the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah. Not that the Ravens
by like 30
are
points.
Much better. But, again, this is a division game.
It's going to be close. Baltimore
I'd
by
have
4.
To believe so. All right, we'll go with my pick of the week next.
Nobody wants to hear it. You're going to lose.
Probably Detroit at Chicago. Chicago's -1, and the over-under is 46 in this game. Chicago's played some close games this season too, man, to tell you the truth. But they are only 1-3 in their last 4 games. They did get blown out 2 weeks ago at the Vikings, although they did come up with the win last week at Tampa Bay. But Elshon Jeffrey, he was just placed on the IR. They really don't have much out there on the offensive side. I mean,
Forte and Langford, that's pretty much it.
Forte, Langford, Zach Miller. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, Eddie Royal may be their top receiver out there. And really, Detroit has been one of the best defenses over the second part of the season here. Maybe the last 6 games or something like that. They did have a couple down games at the Rams. You remember they went out and got beat by the Rams, and that was pretty surprising. Other than that, their defense has been playing pretty well recently. So I expect Detroit to be able to handle Chicago's offense. And really, Chicago doesn't have a great defense. I still trust Stafford to a point. I think it's going to be a close game. Don't get me wrong. But Detroit's just a better team in my mind, and they're the healthier team at this point as well.
Yeah, they probably are a little bit better, and they're definitely healthier. I just think I'm going to take Chicago from being the home team. It's a division game. It's a close game. They know each other very well. Stafford hasn't been impressive to me all year. Calvin Johnson's still a good wide receiver, but he's not the guy who's going to go put up 200 yards against you anymore. People aren't worried about his deep speed. It's just not there. And I'm not saying much of anything great about the Bears other than Forte and Langford are both pretty damn good running backs. And Jay Cutler's had an okay season, maybe good. I don't know. I don't follow his stats exactly. I'm just going to pick the Bears, like I said, solely because they're the home team. And it's such a close line that really it's a pick 'em. I mean, what's one? You can push, that's it.
Yeah, Detroit's offense
Push,
has
win or
actually
lose.
got back on track somewhat over the past 2 weeks. Now, it was against the Saints and 49ers. Two
Right.
terrible defenses, but Chicago not much better. But they did score over 30 points in each of those games. These two teams met earlier this season, though, and it was a very close game. It was 37-34 final score. The Bears actually ended up losing that game.
I don't think either team gets to 30 points. I think it's going to be like 24-20, if that.
I think Detroit has a possibility to get there. I mean, Chicago's not that great of a defense. Chicago, on the other hand, I don't think they can. I'll agree with you, though. I don't think either team gets to 30 points in this game.
Especially if it snows. I don't know if it's supposed to, but it's December and it's cold.
I'm actually going spread solo with Detroit. Easy and Johnny Parlay are both going to say Chicago as well.
As long as I'm taking what Parlay's taking and not taking your pick of the week, that's a pretty good formula for victory.
Please believe. One last game here. Nobody's pick of the week because JK47 didn't make a pick. Minnesota at Green Bay. Green Bay's -3.5 and the over-under is 45.5.
Green Bay has been a huge disappointment all year, and Minnesota has been a pretty big surprise, I guess. Maybe not big surprise, but they're playing better than I thought they were. I thought they'd be around an 8-8 team and be lucky if they could sniff the playoffs. But with Green Bay being so bad, it actually gave them a chance at the division here late in the season. Teddy Bridgewater's playing well. He's playing a lot better in the last two games. Adrian Peterson, he did lose the league lead in rushing yards, I believe, to the muscle hamster or the Duggernaut,
They got
or whatever
1
the
week
hell that
to
guy's
figure
name
it out.
is. So yeah, I think Adrian Peterson is really going to run all over Green Bay. Their defense has been very disappointing this year. Aaron Rodgers and that offense, even at home, they don't scare me anymore. They're not that offense that you're like, oh my God, they're definitely going to put up 30. We really need to play great defense and score points. They're lucky if they're going to score 23 points the way this offense has been playing. Green Bay, this is not your year. You may make the playoffs. You're going to lose in the first week. I know there's been a lot of injuries, so I'm not just straight hating because Green Bay is one of my favorite NFC teams. But I think Minnesota is the better team this year, and I think they're going to go out and prove it on Sunday.
I would tell you what, we took this game last time around, and it was in Minnesota, obviously. And a lot of us took Minnesota. That's when Minnesota was really playing well, looked like one of the best teams in the NFC at that point. And Green Bay wasn't playing well at all. They lost their last 3 games going into that game, and they went in and blew Minnesota out, if you remember, won 30-13. And since then, though, Green Bay really still... They're 3-2 since then, but they're not a very good team. They lost to the Bears and Cardinals and beat the Lions, Cowboys, and Raiders. So they really haven't.
They got blown out by the Cardinals.
That was really their only competition since losing that Vikings game, to tell you the truth. But this time around, I think Vikings want a little bit of revenge as well. I think they're going to go out there and just win the game, to tell you the truth. I don't think Green Bay is a division winner this year. I think Minnesota deserves that division. They're going to go into Green Bay and win that game. Aaron Rodgers has played like crap this season.
Yeah.
For what he should play. I mean, he's
Right.
still a solid quarterback. Don't get me wrong.
But he's an MVP player.
Yeah, and it just hasn't worked out. And the run game didn't help him out at all this season either.
Eddie Lacy had a bad year.
Yeah, and the way Minnesota's going right now, I mean, over the past 2 games, they scored 38 and 49 points. 2 terrible defenses. It was the Chicago Bears and the New York Giants. So
Green
it was
Bay's
bad
defense
defenses.
is bad too, though.
Yeah, they're bad. They're not as terrible as those teams, but they're still a bad defense. I don't see Minnesota going out and scoring 40 points in this game necessarily like they have over the past 2 weeks pretty much, but I see them coming out with a victory in this game.
I just think Minnesota can play mistake-free football better than Green Bay because they can run the football. Green Bay can't, so they're forced in the pass, and Aaron Rodgers isn't playing well. His receivers aren't playing well, so it's turning into turnovers, and it's actually hurting the Green Bay defense. So Minnesota being able to run the football with Adrian Peterson, and even their backup Jerick McKinnon runs well when he gets some time, and Bridgewater not throwing a lot of picks, it's the recipe for success right now for the Vikings. And the Packers, they just got bit by the injury bug and some bad luck this year, and it's not their year. Down with Green Bay.
All right, so we're going spread sweep here on Minnesota. There's only 4 of us taking it, though. JK47 did not make a pick on this game, but that's a little bit surprising to me. I thought somebody would take Green Bay, but we're all on Minnesota here. So the spread picks of the week are San Diego, the New York Jets, the Baltimore Ravens, the Detroit Lions, and the Minnesota Vikings. And then the spread majorities going San Diego, Buffalo, Baltimore, Chicago, and Minnesota.
That's it. Hopefully I have a better week this week. No more 0-5.
Can't have a worse week.
I gotta
Look at
go
that way.
I gotta go 5-0. I had a 5-0 week last year. I gotta have one this year too.
I went 0-5 last week. That was my first 0-5 over 2 seasons. I've never went 5-0 either, though.
Just mired in mediocrity.
Yeah. I have a chance to go over 500 for the second straight season, though. I really need to go 3-2 this week to do it. Johnny Parlay and I are the only ones that have a possibility to do it 2 seasons in a row.
Did we take the same picks?
No, we
Let's
did
see.
not.
Baltimore were the same. San
You
Diego
took Chicago,
were
I
the
took
same.
Detroit. That's the only difference.
That's the only difference?
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. I'm going to go 1-4.
Get the hell out of here. you act like I do this every week. Get out of here.
Loser. Fans, any questions, comments, hit us up on Twitter at bet_the_spread. Hit me up on Twitter at betjimthewin. Check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/betthespread. Keep coming back to YouTube, clicking subscribe, commenting. Hopefully Johnny Parlay's picks help you out. I really think he's going to get back on track too. There's no way he's going to have 3 down weeks, at least that bad anyway. Everybody have a happy new year, and let's go Steelers.